The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. We are going to take a look at that chart I've been posting for the last 3 days. That's that NASDAQ, folks. We still haven't taken that 382 out. I know that doesn't mean anything, but it's an important number from the way we look at Fibonacci. By the way, since we're talking about things of trading and stuff, every day, well, not every day, but this morning, Bill Ackerman was being barbecued by CNBC when he came out and said, hey, I'm calling it uncle. You know, I've been wrong on Netflix, and that's the way it goes. That's all part of investing. What he didn't tell you is where he got out of Netflix at. Nowhere in that interview did he say where he was getting out. So I don't believe these guys, but they all make mistakes, you know. And, went from 700, it hit, 217 today. So just because people are out there, folks, every single one of us makes mistakes. Oh, my God. I mean, just give me a break. That's neither here nor there. Okay, let's move on to a couple other things. $64 question is, has that bond market bottomed? My assumption is yes. And the reason for that is that we have exceeded 382 retracements. Now, I'll just get this up here to show you where we were yesterday, because this was very important from a technical standpoint. And we'll get this up here to take a look at. By the way, our guest today is Tim Bost, Financial Cycles Weekly. Okay, now here is the bond chart. We see that bottom we had down in there. If a person would have been really patient and seen all of these A, B, C, Ds to the downside, they would have been a pretty good buyer in here. Unfortunately, my patience went in right about here and got out right about there. And I tried buying it on that 32% retracement yesterday, but missed that. We went up, and now watch this pullback now, folks, around this 140 level. That's going to be an important number to keep an eye on, because I think we're going to see a pretty good bounce here in the, excuse me, folks, in the Treasury bonds here. It's very, very oversold, and we made our objectives in the natural. Folks, please excuse me today because I have under a little bit of medication because of the Palo Verdes. I feel great, but my breathing, I can breathe pretty good, but the trouble is the nasal congestion because of the Palo Verdes, and boy, they are flat out in bloom like they haven't been, because we had a pretty wet winter, and they're sowing their oats right now. Now, I want to bring up the chart here of the FTSE. It will bring you this is why we were doing this seminar over in London with Tom Hugard, David Paul, who's going to be our guest next week, and then Steve Ward, and also Al Brooks. But you'll notice, you can see all the different ABCDs in the current. You know, there's also ABCDs in the past. ABCDs are everywhere. The problem is, folks, they don't always work. You know, give me a break. I mean, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But what you got to do is you got to find the ones that work the best and put your stop in and just do the trade. It's that simple. I mean, I just can't understand why people want to put all these. Let's change the subject, because I'll just get in more trouble than I usually get into, so I don't want to do that. All right. Now, regarding the Netflix, folks, I have no interest in Netflix at all. All I did yesterday was, and believe me, when I was doing it in past tense up there, when I was seeing 3 drives to a top in Netflix at 700, did I buy a put? No, I didn't buy a put. I don't trade stocks, folks. I trade futures and Forex. That's what I do. If I get outside of that bailiwick of options or whatever, I end up getting myself invariably in trouble, and I don't like trouble. Trouble is not where I like to go, so I stay away from that. Now, let's move up here for just a second. Now I want to show you this is an interesting pattern here. Not quite complete here because it's at the top end of this yellow. Hold on, just give me 1 second here, folks, and we'll get this up here because the real ABCD on this, I want to give you a 10-4 on this. If you'll see, this is the S&P on an hourly chart. Now remember that the NASDAQ is not taking out the 382. That just shows you how bad the NASDAQ is, folks. Now you see the top end of this yellow area? If you get above that, that level came in at 45.10, 45.09, something like that. But your D leg measures around 45.04. So you risk a certain amount. I don't know if you wanted to do that, but you could see everything came together around that time with that smaller ABCD. And that's an hourly chart, so that's a pretty good chart to trade off of. I mean, that's just one of the ones that we're looking at. By the way, if you have any questions, 877-927-6648. And as I mentioned, we will have Tim Boss Financial Cycles Weekly here on Friday. We're going to have Jim Bartolioni of Bart's Charts. On Monday, we have Norman. He calls it to the minute Winsky. And then we have Jeff Huge of Alpha Insights on Tuesday. So we've got a nice group of people coming up. And I believe on Wednesday, we have Shane Smolian lined up. So we got some good people giving us some good ideas. But as you can see from that DAX chart, it does have some of the ABCDs. Same thing with the FTSE. Those are the ones that you want to be watching, very, very closely, in my opinion. Now, I wanted to show you a chart here because, I harp on the old 382 probably a little bit too much, but I think eventually, some of the people are going to be getting a pretty good idea that maybe this thing does have some, validity. But let's take a look here. Now, this is just a hourly chart here on the euro. And as you can see here, we hit the 382 from the high once, went all the way down, matched the bottom. You see, went all the way up, took out that previous 382 by 2 pips. Folks, this is the largest traded thing in the world, this euro versus the U.S. dollar, with the exception of euro dollars trading abroad. Those are U.S. dollars trading abroad. But as far as a speculative vehicle, the euro has no equal. And it has some huge moves. And you can see here, these are pretty big moves coming off of 382. So those are ones that I watch each day as I'm in my getting ready to do the trading and stuff. So bear with me here just 1 second. I want to see what's going on here with the overall market because we've had some pretty good moves here, and I don't have any idea of what's going on as far as the heads up of anything to see. Oh, here's the one that people keep asking me about. We'll talk about this a little bit even after the break here, but this is the one this is the long-term chart here on the Treasury notes, folks. That's the largest of all the things we trade. You can see the big move down there. We went a tiny bit below the 1.618 expansion, and I believe in that number so strongly. I was willing to, risk just under $200 to see if that was going to be right. I missed it and I had it right, but my stop was a little too close. And of course, it had a pretty good rally up. But now I believe we're starting this rally. So we got to pay attention to this. Let's take a break. 877-927-6648.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
What's separating you from the most successful men and women on Wall Street? That's right, information. Having all the information gives us the perspective we need to place the right trades at the right time. The TAS Profile Scanner is the premier market profile-based scanner. Powered by its acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner instantly filters over 2,500 plus global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. This powerful suite of tools leverages instant trade filtering and strategy formulation to show you emerging trades before they happen. For a limited time, you can save $100 off your first month by using the promo code UPGRADE, and you still get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Level the playing field with the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find under the Services tab at TFNN.com. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, we're back, and I posted the chart into the room here of the, you can see it's a 15-minute chart here the last several days. In the crude oil, you can see the nice swings that we have, A, B, C, Ds and stuff, and some of the support and resistance and things. But you can see the exact 61% retracement today when we hit that 105.70. I mean, that's within 4 pips of the exact 618, folks. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but by golly, that's one that hit pretty much spot on. So I hope things like that are helpful to you when you look at some of these things as we go through looking at some of these things that we're looking at. Now let's move over here. Oh my goodness, time out, boys and girls. Shut the front door. I give up. Sometimes I think I know a whole lot more than I do. Just give me a second, folks. I've got to send this on to somebody here because I didn't believe it myself. Shut the front door. That's part of the problems. You make some of the, you can't trade everything. That's the main thing. So that's the one thing you want to remember. But we had a couple of little winners today scalping around, doing okay. But anyway, let's move here. I wanted to show you this just for fun and kicks and giggles because this is one of the things on my bucket list. This is what, hold on, doggone it. Give me a second here. This is what the, I'll figure out how to do this one of these days. This was the AI projection of what we're looking at in T-bonds, and you can see when we were way up here, we've dropped well over a full point, and now we should start to rally. So whether that's correct or not, I don't know. But the fact that was going, and folks, I missed that up here, so I didn't have anything to do with that. I was more interested in that S&P up there at that 4505 plus area. So what we're paying attention to here this morning. Now I wanted to, someone's asked a question about something that we don't trade very often, and I want to bring it up here so that you can take a look at it, because I think I haven't checked it recently here, but I believe, let's just get this up here. Here we go. We're almost ready to go. This is the old piggies, folks. This is the live hogs. It trades quite large. Uh-oh. Shut the front door and raise the rent. The piggies are right there. There they go. I hope this, it should be posting now. I would hope the chart should be posting now. That's a 10-4. Does anybody, I guess, can the people in the den see it? Because if they can't, then it's futile for me to put these charts up. But okay, but you can see here, we've got a head and shoulders pattern up here, folks. Now, I posted this, I don't know where they are today. This is Thursday. So if as long as they're not above that 120 level, I believe the hogs are getting ready to go down. Now, I don't know if they hit that price or not because I wasn't trading them today. You know, I basically focus my trading on, well, I usually do it on bonds, but I missed that one. But I did okay in the S&P, and then also natural gas was a good one, and crude oil. Anyway, let's just see here. If someone can tell me if the hogs are trading below 119, that's all I want to know. As long as they're below 119, that would still be a valid head and shoulders pattern. Now, how am I going to get it updated? I can't update it while I'm in the midst of doing this talking because that is more difficult than I want to do. So one other question someone asked about, and we will get that one up here to take a look at, and that is in the coffee, because we felt that we had a really nice, well, we did have a beautiful, and I don't trade this at all, folks. Haven't for a while. I'm not about to change now, but this is the coffee picture as we came in on Monday. I thought we would probably come down just a little bit. I don't know what you mean by closing the stream. I wish I knew what that meant. Okay, I guess the stream is up working now. The old pond is, let the dam broke. Anyway, we had a beautiful Gartley up here. I mean, there's no reason not to trade that. It's a huge market. You know, a lot of people trade it. But that is a beautiful ABCD coming in exactly at the 50% level. Just can't ask for anything, you know, better than that. So that to me is that the bias to coffee would be to the downside. Now, I don't know that level that we were at here on Sunday. This level here was really strong support. So anything below that level in coffee to me would be, you know, telling you this market might have a huge A, B, C, D to the downside. You know, that's certainly a possibility. So let's remind ourselves of that. Okay, now let me do one other thing here before we move on too far along the program. We've got Tim Boss coming up with Financial Cycles Weekly in just a little bit. And the last one, of course, here is the one that brings a lot of interest in today. So if you hold on one second, I'll have this up here. This is soybean oil, folks. Boy, does this have a lot of memories in my what you call it, memory bag. Oh dear, it goes back 1975. Okay, anyway, you can see all the different A, B, C, Ds, a beautiful trading market, good margin, good liquidity, good open interest. You can't ask for anything better to trade. We got up to a little above this level here today, right around that 79 level, which was almost at the 1.618 expansion that came in at 79.95, and now we've broken about a penny in soybean oil. Now, soybean oil mainly, well, it's a lot for energy now too, but when I was trading, it was mainly for cooking oil and for paint. You know, it's a big thing for paint. That was the original reason for soybeans, folks, was Henry Ford wanted to have a paint base instead of, you know, lacquer. He wanted something that was oil-based paint. And the only thing you get with that much oil was soybean oil. So he went to China. China said, yep, we've got that thing that you want. He brought the plant back to the United States back in the early 1900s. And my God, it's in everything now. That's for sure. Soybeans it's a product you can't live without. It's just everywhere, especially with when you look at margarine and cooking oil and stuff. It's quite a bit. And then with the energy stuff, it's tags on even more. Now we're going to do the last one, and that is the sugar, the sweet. I believe that we had I haven't done these commodities in a long time. Thank you for asking, TJ. Get this up here. There you go. And there's sugar. To me, I think sugar has made a pretty significant double top up in here, and we should have a pretty good support, you know, probably about 2 cents lower in sugar because, you know, the whole world is running out of food. And if they're not careful, they're going to have a whole lot of problems with this. So we certainly want to be really careful to remind ourselves of that. So hold on just a second here. I got to get ready. We got Tim Boss coming up here pretty soon, and then we'll have some fun chatting with Tim. He's always got some great stuff, especially his outlook on the cryptos has been priceless. He's just been, pretty much spot on. So what we're going to do now, very, very shortly, when our break comes up here, which will be very quickly, is have Tim Boss of Financial Cycles Weekly. Tomorrow, Jim Bartolioni of Bart's Charts going to be talking to us about the bonds and a couple other markets that he's been following. And I think all those will be a lot of fun to look at. So we'll be right back, folks.
Are you having fun trading the markets but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den Trading Room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has just launched their new trading room, the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. And now they are expanding their reach with the Tiger's Den, available to all Tigers and Tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. In the Tiger's Den, you can look over the shoulders of Tom O'Brien and the other TFNN hosts while they analyze charts during their live Tiger TV programs, and join an interactive trading community with hundreds of members exchanging ideas. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day, even at night and on the weekends. The Tiger's Den at Discord is accessible on mobile or tablets as well, so it's always at your reach. To sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders, just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I believe with a little bit of luck, we have our good friend, Mr. Tim Boss, Financial Cycles Weekly, as our guest today.
You are lucky indeed. Here I am.
Oh, living the dream on the green side of the grass. The man who said we were going higher was right again. You said we were going higher, Timmy, and by golly, you were right again.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we were looking at in terms of the equities, at least.
Just like evening dinner, you got to have it once a day. Go ahead, my friend.
Well, last time we got together, which was a week ago today, and we did kind of a deep dive into this Volcanus station that we had over the weekend and looked at its impact on equities. We also took a brief look then at oil, and I wanted to review that a little bit here today because very, very interesting things going on in that market. What we had showed last week was this chart based on the Volcanus direct stations, which again occurred this past weekend on the 16th of April, and we said that the oil prices tend to go up historically, moving into that time frame, and then go into a period of decline. And so the question is, are we getting verification of that or not? In this case, we were tracking United States oil. This is the ETF fund as a surrogate for the oil market, doing our analysis there. But based on that back testing that we did and shared last week, we noted that it looked like the optimum trade setup would be a short sale starting today in terms of the oil markets in general. So we were suggesting that we'd be looking today on the 21st of April for a short sale, and then holding that until next Tuesday, a fairly brief exposure there to the short side. But based on our calculations, this has about a 73% probability of being a successful trade to the short side. And then the average expected ROI, based again on the past times this has occurred, is a little over 7%, about 7.33% move. So pretty substantial move to the downside that we're anticipating based on our study of this one particular planetary phenomenon. So we wanted to update that here today, and what we've been looking at is a chart for an event that's occurring just a few hours from now. So we're giving it credit for the entire day, so to speak. This is a Sun Volcanus waxing square. We were looking at the Volcanus station as adding a lot of power to the market energy in general. And what's happening actually about 5 minutes after 4 p.m., 6 minutes after 4 p.m. Eastern time today, it'll be the precise alignment, but that will be that 90-degree angle between the sun and this Neptunian factor of Volcanus. Now, we make a distinction here with these charts because what we have discovered is that in the general approach that most financial astrologers take, they look at a square as a 90-degree angle, and it doesn't matter which planet is on which side of that dynamic. But we've discovered that there's a difference between waxing squares and waning squares. So whether the sun is approaching this alignment, moving toward Volcanus, or moving away from Volcanus in the alignment, is the difference between the waxing and the waning dynamics, so to speak. So what we've got going on right now is the waning dynamic. The sun is moving farther and farther away from its exact alignment with Volcanus and hitting this 90-degree angle here today. So we do our back testing on that basis, and what we're seeing here is with our 90-degree dial projection, a chart that indicates a good bit of potential stress and generally negative sentiment coming out of this. We won't get deep in the weeds with all that interpretation. That's generally supportive of this notion of looking at a short position, at least for this particular market. So what we did was go back and do the back testing for that specific alignment that we have going on right now. This is the history with the Sun Volcanus waning squares. This is a very similar chart to the one that we looked at with the Volcanus direct station last week, but essentially what this is doing is confirming that likelihood of a move to the downside, hence the advisability of a short position at this time. So we're taking this as some reinforcing evidence of that potential dynamic in the oil market overall. And so it's a very, very volatile market, continues to be so. There are all kinds of geopolitical factors that factor into the fundamentals here, and we certainly need to watch the politics Hincks and watch the news in association with that, which has certainly the ability to offset a lot of these astrological indicators. We don't want to rule that out. But from our analysis here, it looks like this could be a decent opportunity for a short sale there. One of the other things that has been a point of some fascination for me is trying to figure out from an astrological perspective what are the best things to look at in terms of understanding the oil markets as a whole. And in the past, we've worked with charts for OPEC and for different kinds of contracts, and as we're illustrating here, this ETF has proven to be pretty reliable as well. But uncovered in my files, this chart for the first U.S. oil strike, the first time that oil was discovered, which was back in August of 1859 there. And so it was a kind of an ancient chart to look at, but it's an intriguing one nevertheless, because it holds up pretty well in doing astrological analysis as being indicative of sensitive points in the oil cycle. And so that was something that we kind of pulled out and took a look at it. And so what we have here is this inner ring is that original chart going back to Titusville, Pennsylvania in the mid-19th century when they first discovered oil there. I think it was August 28th of 1859. And so that outer ring is the solar eclipse that we have coming up. And that's happening here on the 30th of April. A couple of weeks from now, we'll be taking a look at that in more detail. And as it turns out, that solar eclipse will be lining up at 10 degrees of Taurus in a pretty close conjunction with Pluto in this original oil strike discovery, which is at 8 degrees of almost 9 degrees of Taurus. So we're looking at that as having a big potential impact on oil markets in general. And then that little triangle over on the left side suggests that we also have the makings of a Neptune return coming up here. The Neptune in that original chart is at 20. I think it's 26 degrees of Taurus. Of Pisces there, and then we've got Neptune currently transiting just a couple of degrees shy of that, with Jupiter and Venus picking up that energy as well. I've noted over on the left there that Neptune alignment won't be exact for about another year, but we're starting to see that coming into play, and it's important to take a look at that.
Folks, we'll be right back with Tim Boss, Financial Cycles Weekly. This is incredible stuff, Tim. We'll be right back, folks. Thank you, Tim. We'll be right back.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, we're back, folks. We're chatting with Tim Boss, Financial Cycles Weekly out of Bradenton, Florida. Tim, I have a question for you. This chart that you're showing now, is what's referred to as a stellium with all the natal charts like this?
Yeah. So when the term stellium astrologically refers to a kind of a tight cluster of three or more planets in a chart, and so we're certainly seeing that happening right now. We have a transiting stellium with Venus, Jupiter, and Neptune in the late degrees of Pisces there, and so we've just had the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction about 10 days ago, and Venus is moving up to conjoin Jupiter as well. This chart is actually set for April the 30th for the date of the solar eclipse, because that's what I was starting out to examine there, and so we're seeing this cluster of planets. And that has a stronger impact when these guys kind of bundle up together like that. And what we are looking for then is this emphasis on Neptune in the original chart for that original discovery of oil in the U.S. back in 1859. So this is a chart that I look at every once in a while, but it's been a couple of years actually since I had examined it, so I was intrigued to see this alignment. When we look at this Neptune return dynamic, we're talking about a cycle that lasts approximately 171 years. Neptune takes a pretty long time to make its full cycle around the sun. So this is the first time this will have happened for this particular horoscope relative to the history of oil. And so I'm looking at this as a pretty significant inflection point coming up for oil here during the next year or two. The dates we got over on the left there indicate the times this alignment will be exact, coming up on the 17th of April next year in 2023, and then it will go retrograde and hit it again in mid-September of 2023, and then the final passage will occur in February of 2024. So this is a long-term cycle, but what it does for me at least is confirm the notion that we need to be watching these oil markets more closely here because there are some big potential long-term shifts ahead. One of the other things that I took a look at and reviewing all of this was the chart here as well for some cycle work that I was doing. I like to study some of the cycle patterns and especially work with composite cycles in which we can combine various cycles and determine their net impact, so to speak. So in this case, the black bars there are for crude oil futures, and we've got the magenta wavy lines representing the composite cycle dynamics. And you can see that it hits the inflection points pretty well. In fact, over on the left-hand side of the chart, which was about a year ago, we had a very tight correspondence with the cycle and that low that came in with oil at that point. And then since that time, we've seen some other correspondences here. Most dramatically, recently here, over the last couple of months, the peak in the cycle has coincided neatly with what oil has done, as we've seen the big run-up in prices. And so right now, we're looking for a reinforcement of this notion of a downtrend in oil, and that cycle wave will continue into mid-June. So again, we're seeing in this another potential confirmation of the idea that we should be looking at the short side in oil right now. And certainly day-to-day news events and other extreme things can skew all of this enormously. But just from that general perspective, I think those who are more savvy than I in trading oil might want to take a look at this and give it some consideration.
Yeah, well, oil's not any market can go minus 27,000 like we did last April at this time. If you'll remember, we were minus $27,000 a barrel. That means the gas station paid you $50 for filling up.
There you go.
Unfortunately, that didn't happen.
I'll just bring my tin cup and let them fill it up, right?
Go right ahead, Tim. Please continue.
Forget about what goes in the tank there, right? So,
you got it.
At any rate, we want to take another quick look at Bitcoin, as we typically do when we get together, because I continue to get lots of inquiries about that. And in fact, I was engaged in some conversations about this market yesterday. And with Bitcoin, last week we were also reviewing this impact of the Volcanus direct station. In this case, we said that we were looking at an optimum trade to enter today as well, which is why we wanted to review this quickly here, saying in this case we're looking at a long position, buying Bitcoin, which has been in a bit of a pullback mode, and then selling the position on May the 12th. This is a kind of a longer-term play in Bitcoin, if you like, because it's so speculative and so volatile that there's a good bit of a challenge in taking that kind of position. However, our back testing shows a 90% probability of this coming out to the positive side, and it conforms to what we've seen in the past. We can look at an ROI of around 42% for that particular trade. And we say that, with our fingers crossed and a grain of salt and whatever else we can throw over our shoulder here, because we're only dealing with about 10 years of trading history when we look at Bitcoin. And so we constantly have to remind our viewers that that is not a slam dunk, and past performance doesn't guarantee future results, especially when you have a limited amount of past performance to look at here. So with our chart with Bitcoin, we're continuing to track these fourth harmonic planetary price lines for Kronos and for Venus. The horizontal lines represent the trans-Neptunian factor Kronos, and it's done a good job of defining support and resistance. Now, this technique of projecting prices with lines on the chart comes from the work of W.D. Gann, and this is charting software thanks to the late Jeannie Long and her late husband Robert Krauss. They had developed this program to make it easier for us to project these kinds of things on our trading charts, and they provide a real solid way of looking at these dynamics in the markets here. So what we're seeing is this trading channel, this congested range here between a support zone at 37,210 and resistance at 46,210. I posted here on the chart earlier today. The current price for Bitcoin then was 42,841. It's pulled back a little bit since then. Checked it a couple of minutes ago. It's at 42,283 or thereabouts now. So above 42,000, which is a nice pop up from just a few days ago. It actually dipped momentarily there back below the 40,000 mark. That's a kind of a psychological barrier for Bitcoin traders, and it's not that panic sets in, but they start to question positions on the long side when we drop below that 40,000 mark. But as Astro traders were really watching that Chronos support there at 37,210. So we look at anything under 40,000 at this point as a strong buying opportunity. But again, we're looking at this as a possibility.
Hey, stay with us, Tim. We'll be right back, folks. Tim Boss, Financial Cycles Weekly.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are you having fun trading the markets but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den trading room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other tigers and tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
Okay, we're back, folks, chatting with Tim Boss, Financial Cycles Weekly. Tim, do you have anything coming up that the folks might be interested in?
Absolutely. We've got a webinar scheduled for tomorrow afternoon. In fact, I was sharing this chart earlier here showing the planetary price lines developed by W.D. Gann. And during our webinar, we're going to be talking about our brand new training program that we've got, advanced training with Gann, that specifies, that deals specifically with planetary price lines and how they're computed. And this has been one of the secrets with Gann studies, is bringing together time and price, and this is an incredible tool for doing exactly that. So that's what our new training program is about, and it's a free webinar tomorrow that will be previewing that so that you can get your questions answered about that particular kind of approach there as well.
Well, listen, I want to thank you for nailing that oil market absolutely to the wall. So we're going to have you on again in a couple of weeks, if you don't mind, because stuff you have shared with us is great. So please stay on the green side of the grass over there, my boy.
We'll take care of that part for sure.
Yeah. And like my grandpa said, only read the first edition of the obituaries. The problem is people read that second edition, and that makes it difficult. Hey, thanks for joining us. We'll have you in a couple weeks, okay, Tim?
Okay. Have a great evening. Take care.
Okay, you bet, folks. Tim Boss, Financial Cycles Weekly. You just go in and Google it, and you'll be able to find him. He's all over there, and he's been a tremendous amount of help to everybody looking at some of these astro stuff, as has Mr. Shane Smolian and also the quiet man, Mr. Norm Winsky, who will be our guest on Monday. Tomorrow we'll have Jim Bartolioni of Bart's Charts. He's got some nice charts that he's already sent me that I know you're going to be interested in, because he looks at esoterically, which is always a good place to, esoterically, folks, that's actually 30 miles south of Indianapolis in Indiana. If you ever get down that way, you can go to see Esoterical. It's a beautiful little city. And I just made all that up. Anyway, it's the medication, boys and girls. These Palo Verdes are killing me. We'll love you. We'll see you tomorrow with none other than our good friend Jim Bartolioni, number 50. We'll be right back.